Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hope you guys had a great day. Today's Thursday. We have Cleanspark, Hut 8, and Riot providing their production updates for February. So we'll take a look at the numbers along with my spreadsheets. And we'll also take a look at, obviously, the miners, how they did today. It wasn't a good day for them. I think the majority of them were down today. So was Bitcoin a little bit as well. We have the Friday expiry coming up tomorrow. So we'll see how that plays out, see if we can maybe get a bounce back tomorrow or not. But as always, before we begin, not financial advice for entertainment only. You know the drill here. I'm invested in the following companies and coins. So let's take a look at the miners here really quick, and then we'll get into Bitcoin as well and Ethereum. So Sphere 3D was down quite a lot today. It was down 12.23% today to $2.01. We obviously have been going down in it for the past, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the 1 hour chart. It's been rough for them. It's been going down for the last couple of days here. Let's take a look at Argo. Argo was down also a lot today. It was down 10.28% to 82 cents right now. And then Bitfarms was down 7.88% to $3.74. It did have a nice couple of days where it was up in the past 5 days or so, but obviously had a little pullback today. Cleanspark was also down 7.95% to $10.08. Same thing with like Bitfarms. Cleanspark was up the last couple of days here, but obviously had a little correction here as well. Obviously Bitcoin has gone down. Now we got Cores, which is another one that we're covering here. So this is Core Scientific. They are down 9.35% to $6.98. Digihost was basically flat today, so they're still at $3.83. DMG was flat as well at 52 cents. Hive was down 9.62% to $1.88. Hut 8 was down 8.37% to $5.69. Iris Energy was down 4.48% to $14.72. And then we got Marathon. Marathon was down 8.26% to $24.66. And Mawson was down 5.49% to $3.44. And finally, Riot was down 9.93% to $15.97. So obviously the market was down. Bitcoin was down obviously because, well, Bitcoin was down because people are probably just taking profits. But we'll see how that plays out. But right now, all the miners were down obviously because of Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at how Bitcoin did today. So here's Bitcoin on the daily chart. We've had now 3 days of negative going down in price. So we are at 41,679. So we are now battling with the 50-day moving average here, the green line here. We did obviously 3 days ago touch the resistance and we've fallen below it. And we've seen this happen a couple times before where we get close to the resistance and fall again. So we're still battling with that resistance of 44,700. We'll see how this plays out. We may bounce off of it, off of the 20-day moving average here, which would be nice to see if we do that, or if we bounce off the 50-day moving average here. Otherwise, we're going down to probably 40,700 or so. And then if we break that, we're going down again to 37,500 possibly. So something to be mindful of. RSI is obviously going down as well. So it does leave us room to go possibly up, but we obviously can still go down. We're in the central territory. We're not overbought. We're not oversold right now. Take a look at Ethereum right now. Ethereum is also down as well, following obviously Bitcoin. The markets are obviously down in crypto. So Ethereum is at 2,756. We were battling with the 50-day moving average here on the chart. We obviously couldn't get enough momentum to stay above it. So we're falling down just like Bitcoin is right now. And then let's take a look at the hash rate right now. Hash rate, if we refresh this page. Hash rate is still up there. It is at 208 million. It is down a little bit. Now it's showing 198 million. It's down 4.18% in the last 24 hours. So that obviously happens. Miners get turned off, miners get turned on. So we'll see how this plays out, but obviously the trend is going up on it. So let's take a look at Cleanspark here, and then we'll get into Hut 8 and Riot. So Cleanspark announces February 2022 Bitcoin production update. Bitcoin production operations update unaudited. So February monthly production was 276 Bitcoin. Calendar year-to-date production ending in February 28th was 581. Total BTC holdings as of February 28th was 494. Total BTC converted for operations and growth in February was 253. And then currently deployed fleet of over 22,000 latest generation Bitcoin miners with a total hash rate of 2.2 exahash. So that's good. The company fully funded growth and operations through the sale of 253 Bitcoins in February 2022. at an average of approximately 39,744 per BTC. Sales of the BTC equated to proceeds of approximately 10.1 million, most of which was used for growth capital expenditures at the company's North Coast facility. February daily BTC production reached a high of 1015. So that's good. They're getting miners installed. Obviously, they're growing their hash rate, which is good as well. And they are obviously using their Bitcoins that they do mine to fund operations, which is also good, which helps in alleviating some of the dilution in the share price, which is also good, which has helped them obviously keep the price up of their shares. So let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and then we'll get into Hut 8. So here, let's take a look at Cleanspark here. So Cleanspark right now, we have them February with 276 Bitcoins mined. In January, they obviously had 305. This is mostly because February was a shorter month. That was only 28 days. But we do have obviously a decrease of 29 less Bitcoins than the prior month of January, which is a decrease of 9.51%. And if we look at what they did add to them, they did say that they have over 20,000, let me see here. What did it say? Currently deployed fleet of over 22,000 latest generation Bitcoin miners and 2.2 exahash. I have them at, here we go. 22,000 miners, 2.25 exahash on that. So we're really close to what they're reporting right now. And this is what we added in for the month of February. I added in basically these miners here, which equates to about 1,500 miners being added in to get us to that 22,000 miners being installed for February. So obviously these miners here going forward will be running basically full time. I have them in for 20 days. Basically, if you just install them over a certain amount of days, it takes about 20 days for them to reach full potential, possibly, with all of them being installed. And we can look here that from January, they obviously increased their hash rate of 150, which is good. They also installed 1,500 of the miners, and they're looking to be making possibly about for February, about 11.7 million. In January, they made about 12.1. Obviously, February is going to be a little bit less days in the month, so you're mining less, basically 3 days less than in January. So it's going to obviously have an effect on how much you're making there. Also, they reported 494 Bitcoins that they're holding right now. So that only represents about 5% of their market cap total. So their market cap is about 418 million. Current share price is $10.08. So based on that information, we're still waiting on Cleanspark to report on their basically last quarter of 2021. We'll see what that is. But right now I have the last 3 quarters, so Q4, Q3, and Q2, plus right now the estimated Q1 for 2022 gives us a combined total of 106 million possibly in earnings. That would be at approximately, if we just use 50% net from gross and a price earnings multiple of 20, they would be at 25.69. And if we use 75% net income from gross revenue, price earnings multiple of 20, they would be at 38.54. They are at obviously 10.08. Even if we bring this down to 10 PE, I'm still showing that they're way undervalued in my opinion, based on where they are and where they're going. This should be a lot higher in my opinion, but we'll see how this plays out going forward, obviously. Trying to think if there's anything else here. I think that's it. They are 53% operational right now with the amount of miners that they do have, and what their future hash rate is supposed to be around 4.24. So we'll see how that grows, if it grows. I know they want to grow obviously in the future, but they haven't reported anything that's going to be installed, or not installed, but they haven't reported anything that's going to be purchased yet. So when they announce any purchases, we'll add it to our list. But right now we still have obviously a lot of miners that need to get installed going forward into this year. And I don't have anything for 2023, so everything right now is for 2022. All right, so nice increase by Cleanspark. You know, that's what we want to see. We want to see a continued increase in hash rate being installed, miners getting installed, obviously, and obviously they're doing a good job at it. So no complaints right there. All right, let's take a look at the next one, which is a Hut 8. So Hut 8 mining monthly production update for February 2022. So all-time high of 6,115 self-mined Bitcoin in reserve following 289 generated last month. Production highlights are 289 Bitcoin were mined, resulting in an average production rate of 10.3 Bitcoin per day, which is good. Our Ethereum mining, for which we receive payment in Bitcoin, generated approximately 14% of our total production at an average cost of less than 2,600 Canadian dollars per Bitcoin. So that's just kind of where I have a little problem. Not a problem. It's not a problem with them. It's just a problem with calculating how much they're going to be actually making for my side. So from where I'm doing. So I'm trying to figure out how they're calculating their Bitcoin equivalent. Obviously, I think they're mining Ethereum right now and getting that transferred over into Bitcoin, and that's how they're getting paid out. So when we look at the numbers, I'm going to point it out to you guys how I had to adjust some things, and I'm hoping maybe you guys will have some input on that as well, or some insight. Okay. Total Bitcoin balance held in reserve was 6,115 as of February 28th. Installed operating capacity currently sits at 2.5 exahash, a 5% increase from January 31. So this is one of the things that I'm questioning. Is this all ASIC, or is this also the combination of the GPU miners and ASIC? Right now I have it as combination of GPU and ASICs. So when we look at the numbers, we'll take a look at it there. They did install 2,715 MicroBT M30S and M31S Plus miners. And construction at Hut 8's third mining facility located in North Bay, Ontario continues to advance. The building structure is completed and racks are now being assembled. So they're getting close to actually having that operational, which is good. I'm guessing probably within the next month or two, they're going to be installing miners in that, which is good. Let's see here. What else did they say? So our teams in Drumheller and Medicine Hat have continued to diligently upgrade our Alberta sites over the month of February, said Jason Zielinski, head of technology at Hut 8. Our 2022 M30s and M31S Plus orders for MicroBT are arriving as scheduled. We are experiencing consistent growth in our MicroBT authorized repair center, and we are actively recruiting staff for our warranty center at all of our sites. So that's good to see as well. So they're probably going to be making a little money there as well from the repairs. I'm sure it's not going to amount to much, but it's always something. So let's take a look at the numbers here that I have for them, and then we'll get into Riot. So Hut 8 is right there. So they have obviously 289 Bitcoin for the month of February. Mined January was 308, so that's a decrease of 19. And like I've said before, February was a shorter month, so 3 days less. So it's kind of to be expected. If they're mining about 10.3 Bitcoins a day, that would equate, had it been an actual 31 days in the month, they would have been over that from January, so that's fine. But it is a decrease, obviously, month over month from 6.17% from the previous month, which is to be expected, especially with the month being short. So here's the problem that I get into with the GPU servers. I'm not exactly sure how they're calculating their conversion over to Bitcoin. Obviously, the hash rate has increased a little bit on the Ethereum side, and the price of Ethereum has obviously fallen from January, or actually risen a little bit. I think we'll take a look at the charts here a little bit. And I had to make some adjustments. So with everything that they reported as being installed, so I got them, obviously these here are the ones that I got installed, which are these over here. So these combined equal 2,715 of the miners being installed. I have them at an average of 97.5 terahash. When they reported this back last year that they're getting these in, they provided a certain amount that they're going to be an exahash on it, which I think was 1.1 exahash or something like that, or close to it. This is what we would come up with as far as the numbers would go for it, as long with the amount of the order, which was like 12,000 of these miners being ordered. So these are obviously installed now. They're mining, estimated about 20 days on average for the month being installed mining. And when we look at the numbers here, so I have them with just the ASIC miners installed at 2.406 exahash right now. And I had the GPU miners here. I had them at 225 petahash. I had to lower that down to 94 petahash, Bitcoin equivalent, basically because the 20406, and they said they have 2.5 exahash. In order to get to that 2.5 exahash, I had to lower that. Oh, let me get rid of that. So if you guys know anything more or have better details on how they're calculating it, whether it's, I'm trying to figure out, I'm guessing it's how much they earned or how much they made on it, and then they're converting that over into BTC equivalent, I think. So this may make sense then if it's 94 petahash equivalent or something like that. For the month here, obviously, we're looking at about 14.2, and that includes also their I'm guessing this is the other hard part is I'm guessing how much they're making actually on the GPU miners. I don't know exactly how many they have or what the equivalent is of mega hashes per graphics card on their servers. Be nice to know how many they have of those. The graphics cards, how many servers. Obviously, that would help us figure this out. So this is going to be a wild card here. And then obviously their hosting revenue as well. I'm guessing based on prior information that we have from them, they were at 2.6 million Canadian in Q2, I believe. It was 2.4 million. I estimated maybe 2.6 million in Q3. I'm guessing it's going to be around 2.4 million for this quarter. This is just an estimate. Could be more, could be less. That's why these two are wild cards for me, as far as I just can't get enough accurate data on those because they're not just providing the information. So lack of information leads to lack of clarity, and this is what we have here. But yeah, right now I got them at 4.2 for February, 13.3 in January, which is still a good increase because obviously they got these miners installed, so they're making more on these miners along with, and then going into March, I'm looking right now, if nothing else gets installed, they're looking at to be about possibly 15.6 because these miners will be running for a full month, which is another month of basically 31 days in it. So combined, everything, I'm looking at the last 3 quarters. I'm still waiting on Hut 8 to provide the Q4, I think, that they're in for 2021. So December, November, October timeframe. For those 3 quarters, the last 3 quarters in 2021, we're looking at 100.8 million. And then combining it with this current quarter, which is January, February, and March, we're looking at 144 million. So 50% net income from gross revenue and a price to earnings multiple of 20. We're looking at 672, and they're at 569 right now. And then if we look at price to earnings multiple of 20 with 75% net income, we're looking at 1018. So I do believe that they are undervalued right now. Even if I can't drop it down, but if I could drop it down, I think they would be pretty close to being valued where they should be if we brought it down halfway. But I think based on where they're going, the future hash rate, I think they want to get to 5. So far, they reported only 3.2 being their future hash rate. So they're basically 72% operational right now. So that I think is limiting the upside potential in the stock right now because there just isn't that much growth right now, right? So a lot of that growth is already, I think, calculated in. That's why the price is where it's at. So if they report they're going to be buying more miners in the coming months, I think that's going to obviously help drive the stock up higher, possibly. What else can I tell you? So obviously 6,115 BTC HODL value. It's basically 21% of their market value, which is, in my opinion, kind of high. And it's also leading me to believe that they are undervalued based on this. I'm not a big fan of the HODL whole thing. I'd rather have them spend some of the money. I say this about all the miners that do this. I'd rather have them spend some of the coins for operations and not dilute shares of shareholders. But that's just my thinking on that. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I think that's everything for them. Nice increase, obviously, on the miners. They did increase them by, what was it, 2,715 miners increased. Hash rate also increased nicely, about 264 petahash, so that's good as well. So nice increase. We want to see this continue into the following months. But based on the information that I have here also, it looks like they're a little bit ahead of schedule as far as when the miners are coming in. So it looks like they're getting the miners in before they're supposed to get them. So based on what they provided, it looks like we're already into the April tranche of miners that they were supposed to get. So we may be done with all of these even before December. We may be done with getting all these installed maybe in like July or August, who knows, at the rate that they're heading in right now. So obviously Canon is pumping out miners, and I think that's Canon, the M30S. I think those are the Canon miners. So I think they're pumping them out pretty good, which is obviously helping them get the miners in faster. So, all right. Nice job by Hut. No qualms there. So let's take a look at Riot. So Riot announces obviously February production update, operation updates. Let's take a look here. So by January 2023, Riot anticipates a total self-mining hash rate capacity of 12.8 exahash, assuming full deployment of approximately 120,000 Antminer ASICs, but excluding any potential expected incremental productivity gains from the company's utilization of 200 megawatts of immersion cooling infrastructure. So I think it's going to be like a quarter of their mining is going to be immersion cooling, we could see 20-30% gains on that. Approximately 97% of Riot's self-mining fleet will consist of the latest generation S19 series miner models. Upon full deployment of all currently contracted miners, the company's total self-mining fleet will consume approximately 370 megawatts of energy. In addition to the company's self-mining operations, Riot's Windstones facility hosts approximately 200 megawatts of institutional Bitcoin mining. So they do obviously hosting. So through the month of February, Riot has continued to make progress on the first phase of its 200 megawatt immersion cooled Bitcoin mining deployment. With over 10,000 S19J Pro miners now deployed in immersion cooling tanks, said Jason Less, CEO of Riot Blockchain, we have begun the performance evaluation process and we'll be monitoring our immersion performance data closely over the next 60 days. So this is the part that I'm really interested in to see the gains on it. I'm thinking it's going to be between 20, 30, but it could be a little bit more than that. I would be surprised if it's less than 20. As our team continues to build out our immersion operation, we are evaluating and assessing future opportunities to further leverage our expertise in immersion cooling development and deployment. So eventually, over time, I think they will probably switch over more and more of their miners to immersion cooling because it is so much more efficient. So production updates. In February 2022, Riot produced 436 BTC, an average of approximately 189% as compared to February 2021 production of 179 BTC. So a nice increase, obviously, over the prior year. As of February 28, 2022, Riot held approximately 5,783 BTC, all produced by the company's self-mining operations, which is also good. Riot currently has deployed a fleet of approximately 38,310 miners with a hash rate capacity of 3.9 exahash per second. So obviously nice increases in that as well. Mining deployment and shipment updates. Since its last monthly update, Riot received an additional 5,454 new S19J Pros, deployed approximately 5,800 S19J Pros in its immersion cooled building, along with 8,559 additional miners staged for deployment. Additionally, 3,404 S19J Pros have been shipped from Bitmain and are expected to be received during March 2022. Once the stage miners and those from the March delivery are deployed, the company expects to have a total of 50,273 miners deployed with a hash rate of capacity of approximately 5 exahash. So that's probably going to be at the end of this month or early middle sometime next the following month, which is going to be what are we in April sometime. We do have some infrastructure updates as well. So in addition to the second dedicated immersion cooled building G reaching 50% of structural completion with an estimate of the first miners being deployed in the immersion system by April 2022 to begin building out to full capacity of approximately 23,040 Bitcoin miners. So it's going to be a lot of miners that are going to be immersion cooled, which is cool. It's great to see. There are obviously a lot of benefits to doing that. So let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and I think we'll call it a day. So Riot, let's see here. There's Riot. There they are. So let's take a look at their Bitcoins. So January 458, February 436. That's expected. Less days in the month. So they were down to 22 less Bitcoins, which is a decrease of 4.8%. I do have them obviously here in January with 38,310 miners and being at 3.9 exahash. The miners that did get installed are basically these miners here, which is 5,670 miners being currently installed in that. Obviously these miners here are the ones that are still waiting to be installed sometime later on this year. I do have them obviously at 20 days. That's kind of the average that I use for new miners being installed during the month. We obviously can see that they're going to be possibly making approximately 18.7 million. I'm not including hosting in here. Hosting looks like was possibly around 11 million for was that Q3, I believe. But they're supposed to provide the results this coming next week. I think the 14th or the 15th they're supposed to provide their results. So that would obviously add to the bottom line here as well. But right now, 18.7 for February, 17.6 in January, and then we're looking at 22.4 in March, because obviously these miners here are going to be running for the full month, basically. So you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. So looking at the data here, 17.6 for January, 18.7 for February, 22.4 for March. We're looking at approximately 58 million just from Bitcoin mining themselves, not including the hosting. So if we look at the last 3 quarters plus this current quarter, we're looking at approximately 223.6 million of their mining by part of the last 3 quarters. I think includes some of that hosting in there. This one does not include the hosting in the latest one. 58 million does not include that. So we're looking at 50% net income from gross revenue. That'd be 111 million. We're looking at a stock price of approximately $19.19. Price to earnings is 20. And then if we're looking at 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at PE of 20, would be 28.78. So they are undervalued in my opinion right now. Even if we bring that down, and I can't, let me see if I can do this really quick. Minimum, let's make this 10, and we'll make an increment by 1. Let's see here. Format, get rid of that. Okay, so now if we go down to 10, and they are at 1597, so they are pretty close to being valued right now, but I think they should have a higher multiple because they are growing pretty fast. I wouldn't be surprised once Bitcoin starts ramping back up, we could see price to earnings multiples on these miner stocks going back up to closer to the 20 PE range. So 28.78 is kind of where I'm looking at right now for them. So I think they are undervalued based on where they stand. Obviously, Bitcoin hodl position is 5,783. I like this. This is closer to where I would expect it to be, around 13% of their market cap. But I think it can go a little bit lower than that based on getting that price to earnings up higher than what it is right now. PE ratio of 20. I think they're closer to around 11. So getting that to 20 will obviously decrease this hodl market cap here. Other than that, so current hash rate is 3.9, future hash rate 12.7 roughly. Operationally, they're only 30% right now, which is great. So they got a lot of growth going for them still. And they do have a lot of miners that are going to be installed this year. I don't think I have anything for 2023 on them right now. Everything is 2022 supposed to get delivered, but some things may get postponed or delivered a little bit late out, depending on production, obviously, and shipping challenges and things like that. So overall, great increase by Riot. They're obviously doing great things, getting the immersion cooling systems in place. I'm excited to see how those all play out. I want to see what the data is. I want to see, the improvements that they're having on it. It's going to be interesting to see. And then also, can they improve those over time, or if those are going to be basically static once they get to 20, 25%, whatever it might be. So that's kind of what I'm interested in. Let me know what you guys thought of the numbers, obviously. The spreadsheets are, as always, available to my Patreon members. If you guys want to get them there, you can, and help support me in that way. Also, you can help by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. That's all I ask from you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't, let me know down in the comments, or if you have any questions, comments, put them in the comments down below. I always respond to those as well. So that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. We'll see if anybody else updates, and then we'll see what else happens during the next 2 days or so. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.